Hey there, I'm Anna Gandrabura, your English and effective communication coach from English for IT. English for IT is a language school that helps tech and non-tech professionals improve their English and communication skills for work. Thank you for joining the IT English lesson. I hope you're excited because in just 20 minutes, you will level up your grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, soft skills, and even speaking. I will also share more information about our flagship course, which means our best-selling course, English for Tech. This course helps everyone become a rock star communicator. I will also share a special code with you, which is debug it, to get 30% off and get your spot in the course. Hurry up, because we have only 50 spots available. Find the link with more information about the course in the description on this video. Now get comfortable and let's get the ball rolling. Let's start the lesson. Okay, so first let's talk about grammar. As you know, English has a lot of grammar tenses, 12 to be precise, but you don't really need to learn all of them to be a competent user of English. I would say in order to feel comfortable in the workplace and to communicate fluently with your colleagues and clients, you need to know just 6, but you need to know them really, really well without mistakes, right? So instead of giving you rules about these tenses that you can pretty much find in any English textbooks, I'm going to give you key phrases, and each phrase will correspond to a certain tense. It's going to be more practical. It's going to be easier for you to understand and remember the cases. So tip number 1, when you use words or phrases such as currently, right now, or this week, you have to use the present continuous tense. For example, I'm currently working on a project, or he is testing the app right now, or we are preparing to release an update this week. You get it? These 3 phrases you need to remember: currently, this week, right now. And you have to use the present continuous tense with these phrases. Now here's a quick reminder. To make a sentence using present continuous, you need to use auxiliary verb to be, am, is, are, plus you need to add the ing ending to the main verb. That's why I'm saying I am working, we are preparing, she is doing something. Let's take a look now at a real life example, because at English for IT, we teach using real life examples. Let's take a look at this tweet, which reads, currently looking for a developer who can run contract on Clarity and JS React. Now, wait a minute, what is going on here? Where is am, is, are? Well, they're missing, and that's because we can use shortened sentences in present continuous in informal writing as well as speaking, where we don't use am, is, are, and we also skip the subject. For example, instead of saying I am looking forward to meeting you, you can say looking forward to meeting you. Now, I have 3 more tips to share with you, but I don't want this lesson to be too long. That's why I would like to share these 3 grammar tips with you in a PDF. And you can download this PDF for free. Find the information in the description on this video. Go ahead, download the PDF, and study my other 3 tips that I prepared for you. Now, I would like to share more on vocabulary. So moving on to a vocabulary lesson. Let's talk about vocabulary. So if you want to make your communication more effective, start learning fixed phrases instead of just words, right? Start learning fixed expressions that native English speakers use all the time. And you can easily then apply these expressions in different situations. Let's see if you know these 5 phrases that are very, very frequently used by native English speakers in the work context. Number 1, let's dive in. Now, this means let's start. This is something you say at the beginning of the presentation or a meeting. For example, I think everyone is here. Let's dive in at the beginning of the meeting. Phrase number 2, hit me up. In other words, feel free to reach out to me, feel free to contact me, text me, or email me, or write to me. Now, this phrase is pretty casual, so I don't recommend using it in formal context. But communication these days is pretty informal and casual, semi-formal, right? So this phrase is used a lot. You will see it in announcements, in messages, in LinkedIn posts, etc. For example, let's take a look at this one. Looking to consult with someone who has done paid LinkedIn advertising or promotion. If you know someone or are that person, hit me up. Now, this is an announcement on LinkedIn, which is a professional social media network. So yeah, you can still use hit me up. But if you're writing an email to an important client, and let's say you don't know this person very well, you have to be more formal, more professional, avoid using hit me up. Instead, you can say, reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me, or feel free to contact me. Now, these phrases, reach out to me and contact me, are more formal than hit me up. Phrase number 3, let me get back to you. Now, this is the most popular phrase to use when someone asks you a difficult question. You don't have the answer right away. You need some time to think, and you tell them, let me get back to you on that. For example, I'm not sure I remember the exact numbers. Let's say somebody asked you in the meeting something. I'm not sure I remember the exact numbers. Let me get back to you on that. Now, you will see this phrase a lot in work chats. And here is a real life example here. Let me noodle on this a bit and get back to you. Are voice messages all right? Now, this is a very interesting phrase, and there are 2 phrases. Let me get back to you on this, and let me noodle on this a bit, right? So what does this really mean? Well, it means let me think about it, let me noodle on this, let me think about it and get back to you. Very conversational phrases. Now, this is how native speakers communicate. You see, can you communicate like this using English textbooks? I don't know, but this is how we teach our students to communicate in our online courses. If you want to understand and write messages just like this one yourself, using phrases like noodle on it, get back to you on this, join the English for Tech course right now via the link in the description, and you can join this course today with 30% off. Hurry up. Now, phrase number 4, go ahead. This is a perfect phrase to manage interruptions in a conversation. Now, you know, sometimes you start speaking with someone at the same time, right? And what do? You pause and you don't say anything. This is wrong, because you should say, go ahead. And you let the other person continue what they were saying, right? Or they can tell you, go ahead, and then you continue what you were saying. But don't pause, don't be silent, say go ahead. For example, sorry, did you want to say something? It's okay, go ahead. I'll say it later. Now, here's another situation when you can use the phrase go ahead, when you just want to encourage someone to start speaking. For example, I wanted to ask you a question. Sure, go ahead. Right? So that's how you say it. Now, phrase number 5, I guess, and we are wrapping up here. And that's the phrase, by the way. To wrap up means to finish, to end something. For example, a meeting, or for example, a lesson, right? You can wrap up a project as well. You can wrap up a meeting, just about anything, right? Use this phrase. The reason why this word is used very often is because it sounds friendly and positive, right? So for example, you can say something like, I believe we can wrap up this meeting. Thank you for your time, everyone. I believe we can wrap up our vocabulary lesson. We are moving on to topic number 3. Guess what it is? Next up is pronunciation. I'm going to give you 10 words, and your task is to pronounce them correctly. Let's see how many you can actually get right. The first one is tech, not tech. The second, answer, not answer. 3, now be honest. Did you say lunch? It's not lunch, okay? Well, actually, I don't know whether you pronounced it correctly or not, because I can't hear you right now. But if you were taking the English for Tech course, you would get personalized feedback from your course mentor with the detailed explanations of your pronunciation mistakes and some advice on how you can improve your pronunciation. If you join today using the code DEBUGIT, you will get 30% off and you will start improving your pronunciation today. Word number 4 is UX designer. UX, not X, it's UX designer. Word number 5, similar, maybe this is your job, QA engineer. QA, not QA, QA engineer. In general, you need to remember that acronyms in English are pronounced as separate letters of the alphabet. That's why we say UX. That's why we say QA. Moving on, the next word is business analyst. Business analyst. Sometimes I hear people say business analytic. It's not right. Business analyst. Maybe that's your job. Let me know in the comments, by the way. The next one is, again, maybe that's your job and you are mispronouncing it. Recruiter. Recruiter. Not recruiter, it's recruiter. The stress is on the ru part. Recruiter. Now also be careful with the stress. Sometimes you think that you're pronouncing the word correctly, and technically you are saying the sounds correctly, but the stress is wrong. And that's why people don't understand you. That's why, for example, when you say developer, people might not understand you because this is not developer, it's developer. It's not recruiter, it's recruiter. The next one is the tricky word, but you can do it. Career, career. Repeat after me. Career. You need fluent English for your successful career in tech. That should be your mantra every morning. The next word is another acronym. It's API. Again, pronounce it. I mean, you have to say it as separate letters of the alphabet. API, not API. Don't be surprised if your colleagues don't understand you when you say API, because that's not how they say it. It's API. And finally, this word is archive. Archive, not archive, archive. Yes, usually CH is pronounced as ch in English, but there are many words when CH is pronounced as K. That's why archive. By the way, do you know any other words where CH is pronounced as K? Let me know in the comments. And I'm ready to move on to the next topic of our IT English lesson. Now, one of my favorite topics, soft skills. Like I mentioned before, at English for IT, we teach not only English, but also soft skills. And that means communication skills that you need to be successful at work. Why are soft skills so important? Well, let me ask you these questions. Why are you learning English? What is your motivation? Think about this for a second. I'm sure that you are probably learning English not because you just want to be fluent, but because you want to use English to build personal relationships, to get better career opportunities, right? To get a higher salary, to be a better professional, you name it. And you need good communication skills for all of that, not just English grammar and English vocabulary. That's why all of our programs include lessons on soft skills. In this soft skill lesson particularly, we are going to talk about small talk. Now, think about it. How much do you know about small talk? Would you like to improve your knowledge of small talk? Well, you'll be able to do it with me in just a moment. Small talk, it's like a warm-up before a serious conversation. And I'm here to tell you that the way you make small talk is very important because it creates that a powerful impression of you as a person and of course of you as a professional. Now imagine you and I have our first meeting and I ask you a question. Hi, how is it going? And you say, hi, I'm okay. Can we start our meeting because I'm very busy? What first impression will that create, you think? I'm probably going to think that you are unfriendly, a little bit rude, and you are difficult to communicate and hence to work with, right? And I'm pretty sure you would think the same thing if you were a native English speaker. Now, that's not what you want me to think, right? So let me give you 4 tips for making small talk in a professional setting, right? And tip number 1, ask the question, how is it going? Instead of how are you all the time, right? You probably know the phrase, how are you? And you use it, right? All the time, but it's actually not very often used in business context because it may sound a little bit too personal. So you use it with friends. How are you? I'm great. Thanks. Bye. In business, however, we normally use the phrase, how is it going to start a conversation? How is it going literally means, how are you? But it's just more formal. Hi, how is it going? Or you can also say, hi, how are you doing? So start using these phrases to sound more professional and to take your small talk to the next level. Tip number 2, don't say I'm okay. So when someone asks you, how is it going? What should you say? Well, I'm going to tell you what you shouldn't say, okay? So don't say I'm okay. Again, it's not appropriate in business setting. Instead, try some of these phrases. So when someone asks you, how's it going? You can say, great, I hope you're doing well too. Or, how are you doing today? Pretty good, thanks. Or you can just say, awesome, I'm great, thank you. How about you? Tip number 3, consider the cultural differences when making small talk. The way people make small talk differs depending on their communication culture. For example, in Eastern Europe and in Nordic cultures, people may feel awkward about making small talk, or they can even skip it completely, right? This is not part of their culture. On the other hand, in Latin America, people are usually very open to chatting about non-work related things, for example, their family. In the US, small talk is a must, you know. That is why it's okay to adjust the way you make small talk based on cultural and individual preferences. And more about cross-cultural communication in our English for Tech course. You will learn the tips and tricks for smooth communication with clients and colleagues from different cultures. Head over to the description on this video, get the link, get the code, and join the course. Let's move on to tip number 4. Avoid saying just yes or no. Here is a golden rule of small talk. For the first 30 seconds of small talk, you should avoid answering questions with just yes or no. Your answer should be at least 2 sentences. For example, you can say yes or no, and then you can provide more detail. Here is a bad example of making a small talk. Are you taking any courses at the moment? And you say yes, and that's it. That's bad. Now let's improve it by adding more details. The same question. Are you taking any courses at the moment? Yes, I just started the English for Tech course and I already see progress. My manager said that I speak better in meetings now. And then you have a follow-up question, which is great because this is how you build the conversation. Can you share this course details? I needed to. Sure, the description is under this video, and don't forget to use the promo code DEBUGIT to get 30% off. Think of small talk as a game where you have the ball. This is you asking the question. You throw the ball by asking the question, and then somebody else has to ask you the question back. That's why when people ask you a question, don't just say yes and that's it. Give them more details and maybe even ask them something in return. We're almost at the end of our lesson, so let's wrap it up with some speaking practice because speaking is so important. I decided to give you a perfect template for introducing yourself in any business situation, at events, for example, at team meetings, in a job interview, you name it. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give you this template and then we're going to practice it together. So the template is very, very simple. It only has 3 sentences. So number 1, you need to say what your name is. For example, hi, my name is Anna, right? Then you talk about your job, what your job is. I am an English and effective communication coach. Now remember here to use the article a or an before the name of your job. For example, I am a developer or I am an engineer. Then number 3, you talk about details where you work. For example, I work at and the name of the company. I work at Google. If you're unemployed, you can say, I'm currently looking for new opportunities. If you are a freelancer, you may say, I work for and names of your clients that you're working for. Or you can just say, I'm a freelancer, I work on Upwork. So here is how you would complete this template. Hi, my name is Anna. I'm an English and effective communication coach. I work at English for IT, where we help tech and non-tech professionals improve their English and communication skills for work. Now, this is my 3-sentence pitch. This is my 3-sentence introduction. It is always ready. I don't have to think about it when I need to introduce myself. You should do the same thing. Now it's your turn complete my template with information about you and share it with me in the comments or say it out loud as you watch this video. Well, unfortunately, I can't give you feedback on your introduction, but your English for IT mentor will be able to do it if you sign up for the English for Tech course. Would you like me and English for IT to be your mentors? Then you're welcome to join the course. If you want to improve your English communication skills and receive tailored support, receive feedback from mentors, please head over to the description on this video, check out the link, and join the course. Don't forget to use the promo code DEBUGIT to get 30% off today. Remember, we have limited spots available for the discounted price, so hurry up and let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to see you in the course to teach you in the same way, in the same manner, but with more feedback and with more information and more knowledge. Bye for now.